Alright, I do not like technical difficulties. This happens to be take 3.5. Welcome everyone, FGOC League members especially, to my 2023 in the bag. Here we go. Starting with my putting putters, that's where we go to first. PA3. As HG and I always say, gotta have that bead. It's a 350G plastic, which means it's grippy and it's firm, and it goes to the basket. PA3 putters, and I'm working on my putt, so do not worry, it will be better this year. All right, when it comes to throwing putters, I mean I've thrown the PA3 and I kind of like it, but I have not found a throwing putter as good as the PX3. All right, so starting with this one, you saw this one last year. This is the reindeer stamp, and it's a 400 Spectrum. Yep, 400 Spectrum plastic. Love this disc. It got me kind of a unofficial ace right at the end of the season. No one was able to witness, and it was my second throw. But it was an ace. And this is the same disc. It's a 750 Spectrum, which means it's a little more firm, but it's got that same grippiness that I like about this one. So it's going to be very complimentary. So in other words, tunnel shots, pretty much just those straight shots that aren't, really far. I'm going to be going with these guys. PX3, PA3. All right. Approach line discs. So, understable, soft focus. I used to have a soft focus that was like ancient, and the bead was worn off of it, and I had to retire it. I didn't want to lose it. So I got a new one. So pretty much I'll always backhand it, and it's going to drift right for me. Very touchy disc. And for my pretty much straight, stable, non-flippy, the distortion was added to my bag. This is a 4303. It feels very much like a zone, but it's a little bit less stable. So I'll snap it, and it's pretty much going to ride straight, maybe a little bit of a fade. Sometimes it'll have a fade if I throw it softly. But when I want the fade, I'm going to the zone. I have this one that I bought from Tyler. Has served me well. And I've added a Z-Glow zone. I have not thrown this one. It's a little more firm, and it glows very well. So we played one glow round, and I didn't think I would get into glow, but it was really fun, so I had to make sure I had one of my own. And then when it comes to approach discs, you cannot leave out one of these. Some people will throw maybe a polecat or a Berg. I go with the Dillo. You gotta have a low glide disc. And with this one, for me, if I'm going to this one, it's probably because it's an area where I'm afraid that the disc could roll, because this doesn't like to roll. But it could also mean I'm trying to throw it in. Happens every once in a while. And rounding off the approach discs. Gotta have something that's beefy, something that's gonna hook hard. For me, it's the A2. This one, it's a little more domey than I'd like it to be. But I don't know, I can get by that. It might be replaced if I find one during the season that is board flat. But for now, this is gonna be it. Working on my sidearm too. Besides the point. All right, going into mid ranges, and these are some of my favorites to throw as always. M4s, boys. So this is my flippy one. This one's gonna pretty much I'll snap it and it'll drift right. And this is my neutral mid-range. So I can kind of manipulate it if I put it on whatever angle, it's gonna pretty much kind of hold that. Yeah, gotta have an M4. These ones carried me through the overtime at Viroqua. And, okay, this disc is probably, if I could pick a Signature Series disc for the year, this is going to be it for me. Added to the bag today, birthday present, on request, brand new disc even to the company, the MX-1. And boys, I have never felt, ever, a disc that felt this good in my hand. I don't know if you can see how, and I've had a complaint with Prodigy as their mid-range lineup hasn't had something quite stable enough, at least that felt good. But this, I have not thrown it, but I've seen reviews, I've seen some of the pros throw it. It does have stability, and wow, this is going to be the disc of the year for me, I am guessing. Okay, so the numbers are 5204, but I don't think it's as overstable as you would think with that. But, man, I can't stop feeling it. Oh, okay. MX-1, be watching for it. All right, fairway drivers, one of my favorites to throw, which I said about the mid-ranges. Okay, I'll say this. I kind of like throwing fairways more than distance drivers right now because I'm learning, kind of trying to perfect my form, and it's easier with fairways. Starting with the H5, I had this also last year. It's got a nice round rim. This is understable, so I'm planning on using it for rollers, but it's a very easy turnover disc for me. So reliable for my understability slot. And for the neutral fairways, this was recommended to me last year. And from here on, all my fairways are going to be Discmania. So I mainly throw Prodigy, they're my favorite, but Discmania is coming in close. FD, C-line, recommended. I needed something that would just go straight, and yeah, that fits the bill. FD. Now, what I like probably, it's more stable, 7-speed, and I probably right now would say I like it just a little bit more than the FD, throwing wise. I discovered it last year, halfway through the season, is the Instinct. Now this is, beautiful, smooth disc. Yep. So it's a 7502, I believe are the numbers. And I am probably going to add another one to my bag sometime during the season, just maybe a different plastic type or just a newer, less beat-in one, because I use this one a lot, even though I had it like half the season. So the Instinct Discmania, one of my favorites. For the beefy mid-range, the overstable, Garrett bought one, I tried it, and I had to get one. The FD3 Metal Flake. This thing feels good, and it takes an arm. It's going to always fade for me, so I got to have one of those. For me, last year it was the Predator, but I lost 2 Predators last year. Went to the FD. It wants to stay in my bag. Distance drivers. Technically, this is Ian's, so understable. This is a very flippy D2. Yep, it's got Kevin Jones lined. Yeah, for a D2, it is kind of beat in, yeah, but it was kind of flippy from the start. So this is going to be for my distance when I need it to fade. Maybe get a flex out of it, but mostly ones that I want to go right. It's going to be it for now, anyways. I don't know how much longer it'll stay in my bag, but I don't have anything else to fit that slot. But for my flex max distance, I started with this one at the end of the year, the X3, and I really liked it. So I had another one added. This is another one with the Bomber Bear stamp. Different plastics, but the same weight, so they're going to very much complement one another. Okay. Yeah, the X3, these are the flex. It's really, really easy to get a nice, easy flex out of them. In the wind, not so much. So if there is wind, I'm going up one step to the D2s. That Kevin Jones was also D2, but it's not really comparable to these ones. So this is a pretty straight flying. It'll have a little bit of fade, and this is a pretty beefy one right now, but it's going to beat in and get closer. So these complement each other very well. They'll have just a little bit of flip. This one hardly has any turn at all right now. But these are my main distance stable driver, the D2. And that orange one is very similar to the D1, which is this. You may have seen it last year if you've seen any of the other videos. This one, the very first tournament of the season that I played last year, was very windy. And this thing was the one saving grace of that game. Kept it from being absolutely atrocious. The D1, and I love that stamp on there as well. So that rounds off all of the discs in my bag, but I will also show you that I have added, through Christmas presents, a rangefinder. Been wanting one of those for a while. And I still have a flight towel that I like to keep in there. So, that is everything. Thank you guys for watching. I'm expecting to see the rest of the FGOC in the bags before spring. And I really want to play. Winter's getting long. Alright. Tuning out. Thank you for watching, and we will see you somewhere out in the fairway.